My balls are flying. Hi, my name's Bella. I am a maker. I love to make things. And I wanted to come to YouTube today to show you what I've been making. I like to knit and sew, and I make ceramics and do embroidery, all the fiber arts basically. I learned how to knit about 10 years ago. My grandmother taught me, and I thought it was really cool, turning yarn into something amazing. But I kind of lost interest with it throughout the years. I wasn't really into the acrylic yarn. I like soft things, and that wasn't really my taste. So yeah, I just kind of fell out of interest with it. I picked up knitting again about a year ago. I don't know why I wanted to knit again, but I just felt like I should. I hadn't done it in a while, and so I looked up online some hand-dyed yarn. I thought that would be interesting. It was so beautiful. I thought it was kind of expensive, but it's worth it because, you know, it's someone's art. They're putting so much effort and talent into this. So I bought some. It was silk and alpaca and wool, and I just got it and I just fell in love. It was so soft and the colors were so beautiful. So yeah, if you've never worked with hand-dyed yarn, or at least real fibers, I mean, if you don't want to work with animal fibers, at least try cotton or linen, or there's so many options, but acrylic is not the end-all be-all, so go find other stuff. But anyways, yeah, fell in love with all of the soft fibers, and I started knitting again. This was actually the first thing that I made. No, it wasn't. I made a scarf first for my boyfriend, but this was the second thing I made. So the pattern, I'll tell you a little bit about this. The pattern is Multnomah, I think that's how you say it. It's by Expression Fiber Arts. That's a hand-dyed yarn company, and they put out free patterns. This was a free pattern. I changed it a little bit, so I don't know if you can see, but it's like flat. The pattern kind of has you take this piece and seam it here, but I wanted it to be a little bit different. But the pattern of, you know, this kind of lace work here is the same. And this is also Expression Fiber Arts yarn. This is Alpaca Silk DK, I think that's what it's called. And it is so lovely. It's so drapey and soft. I love the color. It's really neutral. And yeah, it was a breeze to knit. Well, okay, not really a breeze, but it was fun. There's a little bit of a mistake at the beginning. It was a little bit difficult. I had never done lace before. The knitting that I had done years ago was, you know, like a basic square. I think I made maybe a pot holder, or, you know, one of those heat cloth things. But yeah, so this was my first time knitting lace, and it was really fun once you kind of memorize the pattern, which was really easy for this one. It's just some eyelets, some yarn overs and such. Oh, here's the mistake. It's like way at the beginning. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it's just kind of wonky. So yes, this was my first lace pattern, my first Expression Fiber Arts pattern, and I loved it. It was really fun to knit. If you've never, again I say, if you've never worked with hand-dyed yarn, or, you know, good quality fibers in your yarn, I highly recommend it. So I thought I would show you what I'm making now that this crisis is going on and I don't have to commute anywhere. So I have some free time, or more free time, I guess. So yeah, I'll show you what I've currently been making. Alright, so what I've been working on recently. I have done some knitting, some sewing, and I have a lot of things planned in the works still to come. All right, so the first thing, I have made some shawls. This is knitting. I've made some shawls, I've made some scarves. What else have I made? Socks. That was a new thing this year. But I've never made a garment until now. Let me show you. This is my first garment. So it's a sweater pattern, also from Expression Fiber Arts. Here, I'll show it to you. This is where it's at currently. I don't know if you can see the entire thing there, but this is called the 7-lace raglan, I think. It's a raglan sweater. So I think that just means how the arms are attached, if I'm correct, if I'm not mistaken, whatever the word is. Yeah, so this has been very fun to make. I was super scared, you know, making your own sweater. Oh my gosh, like, I don't know, it just sounded really scary to me. But no, it's been totally fine. I mean, it's just, the body is basic stockinette for the most part, with some waist shaping. So I'll talk about that. That was cool. So it's bottom up, I should say that. It's worked bottom up, so you cast on at the hem here. You do some ribbing, and then you work across. It's also seamed, so you do the front panel, the back panel, and then you do each arm individually, like flat, and then you seam that up also. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It was, yeah, stockinette. Okay, so the waist shaping was really cool. I've never seen this before. You use 3 different needle sizes in this. So you start with, I think, well, I don't know. I think, but depending on your gauge, you change the needle sizes, but it's 3 different ones. And that's how you do the waist shaping. So you go the biggest size, the middle size, and then the small size, and then back up. So that was really cool. And I think it actually did work. Like, there actually is, you know, subtle waist shaping, so that's really nice. How long has this taken? I think I've been working on it for a little over a month, and this is like the only knitting thing I've been doing. I've been obviously making other things, but this is like the only knitting project. And it's obviously not done yet. I have the other arm done. This is the other arm. I have to seam it on still. But yeah, I think it's a really pretty pattern. I'll insert a photo somewhere of like what it's looking like on right now. Yeah, I think it looks cute so far, but it's definitely not done. So the neck, to me, in my opinion, looks kind of strange right now. I mean, you can't really tell just like this, but on it, I don't know, it seems like kind of a weird shape. Anyways, there's gonna be ribbing at the top that I'm gonna, you pick up stitches and then you go all the way around and then to the back. And it's got these eyelets all the way around. Can you see? Here, I'll just show you on the arm. So that's kind of in the armpit area. These really pretty eyelets. I love eyelets, if you couldn't tell. Lace and such. So yeah, the last steps for me is to sew on the arms and to do the ribbing to kind of connect it to the bottom again. And then it'll be done! Woo! So yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. Hopefully soon. The bottom of the sleeves is also kind of cute. I think it's like a rolled, I don't know, would you call it a rolled hem? It's kind of rolling on purpose. I thought that was really cute. So yeah, and it's fitted. Oh, the yarn. I should talk about the yarn. Okay, so it is not Expression Fiber Arts yarn. This is some yarn that I picked up at, what was it called? Stitches. It wasn't Stitches West. I know it was Stitches Pasadena. I don't know. I live in Los Angeles, so that was the one last year that was coming to town. So anyways, went there. There was a lovely hand dyer there. I loved all of her yarns. Oh my gosh, I wish I could have bought everything. But so her name is 7 Sisters Arts, Seven Sisters Arts, I think it was. And at the time, I actually only picked up two of these. This is actually two different colorways. But then I had this idea to make this sweater. So I ordered another one later on. But these two I bought at the show. I don't remember the colorways. Maybe I'll write them if I can find them. But yeah, she's a hand dyer from Maine, and she came all the way out to California. And yeah, this is fingering weight yarn, and I don't remember the base name. Maybe I'll insert it here. But this has been lovely to work with. It's wool and silk, so it just glides and slides, and it's really nice. I love the colorways, obviously. And yeah, the pattern doesn't call for fingering, but I did fingering anyways, because that's the yarn that I wanted to use. So how I accounted for that, I basically just made sure that the gauge would... Actually, no. I didn't even get gauge, really. I think I just kind of winged it. That's okay, though, because it turns out fine, because I tried it on all throughout the process and made sure that it was turning out okay. Yeah, I really like it. I think fingering is fine. The pattern calls for lace weight. I didn't have any, so I used fingering. So yeah, I think that's all I'll say for now about this one. Now I'll show you what I've been working on for sewing. Alright, so for sewing, what I've been working on. Oh, this has been a project in the making for 8 years. I don't know, not really in the making, but has been planned, and I've had all of the fabric specifically picked out for this project for a very long time. So I've sewed some clothes before, but I have never made something that is this intricate and detailed, and I was also scared about the fabric, so let me just get into what it is. It's a velvet coat. It's almost floor length. I think it goes to about knee length. It's all velvet. I had never worked with velvet before, and I had never made a coat before. There's lining, there's interfacing. It was just a lot of steps that I've never done before, so I was really intimidated, and that's why I didn't do it for so long. I had just had the fabric sitting in my closet. So since this whole catastrophe has been going on, I've had some more time, so I figured now is the best time to do it. So yeah, that's what I've been working on sewing wise for the past couple months, and I'll show you where it's at right now. Alright, so this is what the coat is looking like so far. So I'm almost done with it. The lining is finished on the inside. All I have to do now is sew the lining to the coat. However, there have been some mishaps. As you can see on the lapel area where it goes from the lapel to the hood, it's kind of wonky right now. I think I can fix it. I think it's just the fabric is pulling because I haven't done the top stitching yet. So hopefully that'll be fixed soon. I'm kind of scared about that part, but if anyone has any, ideas of how I could fix this, if I need to redo the seam, that would be really helpful. But yeah, I think the top stitching, if I just pull it correctly, I'm planning on doing it by hand, sewing it by hand, so if anyone has any tips, that would be helpful. Also, I stupidly sewed the armhole, or the arm, to the lining inside out, so I need to redo that. I used a pattern for this coat. The pattern is from 1979, I believe, and I thought it was really beautiful. I found it secondhand, so I really wanted to make it into this. I love the color purple, so thus the purple velvet. I also love velvet. Anything soft and luxurious is really my favorite kind of fabric. When it's all finished, it's going to have buttons down the center front. It's going to have kind of 2 rows of buttons. You can see in the picture on the pattern what it's going to look like. And then also on the back there's some buttons, and then on the sleeves. I was really scared about working with the velvet. I just anticipated it would be a very difficult fabric to work with, but it's actually been pretty simple. The only thing that I messed up on was there's a pill on velvet fabric. You know, it's kind of fluffy and there's directions that the pill can flow. And when I was ironing the fabric, it had been, it had been folded up in the closet for a while, so I needed to iron it before I started cutting all the pieces. And I accidentally pressed the iron down too much on the pill, and there's some places where it's flattened. So I'm gonna try to kind of help that. If anyone has any suggestions of how to get the pill to, raise again, that would be really useful. But it's not horrible. I mean, this would happen over time anyways, just wearing the coat. And also, before I started making the coat, I actually had an idea to put an embroidery on the back. Since making this, I have decided not to do that, just because there isn't much room on the back, and also there's a hood. So I think the hood would cover up most of the embroidery, and it wouldn't really be worth it. It's definitely taken a very long time to make. There's a lot of steps with it being a lot of pieces. You can see in the back there's a lot of seams, a lot of seaming. Yeah, this coat has really been a labor of love for me. Since it's been in the works for such a long time, it's going to be fun to have it finally finished. It's definitely been the biggest project that I've ever taken on as far as making something by hand. Made some pretty complicated things before, but this is definitely the most complicated I've ever done. Hopefully it'll be finished soon, and I'll update you guys what it looks like in the end. I'll do some photos, a little photo shoot, and that's it for this. Okay, so that's all I have to show you today as far as what I've been making recently. Thank you for watching if you've gotten this far. So a little bit about what I want to do with this channel. I want to show you what I'm making, so videos like this, updating you on what I've been making currently. Also, tutorials. So, if you've never done knitting, if you want to learn how to knit, sewing related, and also, kind of follow me making some garment or whatever it may be, that kind of a thing. If you have any suggestions of what you would want to see also in this kind of topic, that would be awesome. Comment if you want to see anything in particular. Like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this video or if you want to see more content like this from me. But that's all for today. So thank you very much, and see you next time.